Hi guys, welcome back with the John Christian Studio Sessions. Today we're going to talk a little bit about EQing. EQing for me has a very specific purpose because with EQing I find space for any specific sound in the mix, and also EQing is a big part of mastering in the end. But I will give a few examples here in which EQing seems to be very important, especially in the lower frequencies. And I'm going to start with a little bass EQing subject because I know a lot of you guys are really having big trouble with finding a good connection between a bass line and a kick. And I'm going to show you also what can go wrong. And what can go wrong is influencing really heavily the mastering, because sometimes I get the question, well, John, here's my mix, can you do a mastering? And the people are thinking like, okay, if he does the mastering or someone else does the mastering, that can fix all my problems. But it's not like that. And I'm going to show you how you have to work with lower frequencies first. Here's my example of what I wanted to show you about the lower frequencies. I have a kick and a bass here because that's most of the time the most difficult part of doing a proper mix, and if you don't do that right, you will have the troubles all the way during the production and also while mastering. I have two elements here. This is just a simple sinus bass line coming from just starting up the EXS24 from Logic, and a simple kick. And there is one aspect about lower frequencies. Well, it's there with all the frequencies, but in the lower frequencies you are really, it is a little bit stronger, that if frequencies are exactly the same, that they are cancelling out. And in this case the track is in G, so basically you have to know in which key your track is, but in this case it's in G. I have a little schedule here which says that if it's in G, then there are certain frequencies connected to it. You can just go on internet and find a schedule like this, but I always use it to make my EQings tonal. So if you have a key playing with the sub-frequencies in 48 Hertz, and also the bass playing the same notes, and so also 48 Hertz, they might cancel out each other. And here's an example of what that sounds like, because I just played them solo, but this is when they play together in the same frequencies. It almost sounds like there is already a sidechain on that bass, but it's not, because it's just been cancelled out by the kick. I can even exaggerate what's happening here to make it even clearer, and for doing that I need to put both the kick and the bass line an octave up. Then you can hear better what the problem is here. This is an octave up. For the bass I'm going to use a Waves plugin to pitch it an octave up. The sound shifter pitch, 12 tones up. This is how they play together. And because they are exactly playing the same, you can almost solve this problem with using a sidechain. For the example, I can do that so you can hear what's going on there, just with a simple preset. So the kick is not playing when the bass is playing and the other way around. I think this is a situation which you can solve by doing this. But let's say if you don't know the key in which the kick is playing, then you might have this. What I did now is played the bass a little higher, so the kick is in G and the bass is one semitone higher, and this is what it sounds like. But you know that this is, a lot of you can hear that this is really fighting with each other because of some kind of wobbling sound going on, and I can really make that even worse by hiring again that note. If you put these two back an octave down, this track would really be unmixable. So let's do that to make clear what's happening then. Octave down. This is taking almost all the energy from your track. And so what you have to do is to first make sure that the kick and the bass are playing exactly the same note. And this works for electro tracks and all that kind of tracks that have a straight drop. Because if you are having a progressive track, then this whole situation is different, but we're going to make an episode about that later. First we have to solve this problem here. First of all, put that volume shaper there so the kick is pushing away the bass when it's playing together. Then besides that, you can use an equalizer to put some accent here, and then you have to make a decision. What I do is the kick playing in the range that really hits your stomach, like we always say that, and is the bass playing the sub-frequencies, or the other way around. You cannot do it both at the same part of the frequency spectrum. So in this case I would choose, and I think for all my tracks so far I have to make the decision that the bass line is really fitting in the sub-frequencies and the kick is above the bass line. So what I do then is again look in my schedule about which frequencies that are and then I just put an equalizer on it to say, okay, we have the bass line here, put it on solo. Here we have the sub-frequencies at 48 Hertz. Enable them, of course, otherwise nothing is happening. So let's say this is the sub-frequencies. Here I'm going to boost that bass line a little bit, around that 49, 48 Hertz. And if I want to have that kick above that, then I have to create space for that kick. And so again, my schedule says that 1 octave up will be 99 Hertz. So if I just boost that also, and I do that with the kick, that will never make a combination. So what I do now is cut that away to make the create the space for the kick here, around 98. Then I'm going to copy that EQ settings to the kick and then open that equalizer next to the other one. This is the bass line here, and for the kick I'm going to do it the other way around. Let's say like almost this. Now you have a clear note, the kick is pushing, and if you would put this equalizer on that equalizer, you will see that the line would still be 0. Because you really make the opposite settings. And that's the way I always create room for the sub-frequencies and the kicking frequencies for the bass and the kick in the end. And so when it comes to EQing, you can do a lot more, but this is a basic technique. And if you really want to see more about EQing, make sure you watch the next episodes. But for now, this is it. If you have any question about this chapter or maybe another, just go to my facebook.com/DJ John Christian and leave your comments there.